from ShipRocket discussing a very important topic, whether or not you should block COD orders. Let us welcome him on the stage. Give a huge round of applause for Mr. Arpan Banerjee.
I'm Arpan Banerjee, as announced. So, I'm here to basically help you understand what COD orders mean for your business. And I am here to help you solve, or rather engage in a conversation on whether or not to block. So I've done performance marketing in my early careers. So I understand the nuances and the problems everyone is facing. I've also worked into the logistics, so I know what COD can do to your business. It can turn your top line into something that is really beautiful. It can help increase your customer outreach. India, as you all know, is a market of COD, right? Yet we all know with COD a lot of problems come into the picture. Let's all explore what all things are there that we can solve. Even after the kind of top line impact COD is creating, a lot of checkout partners or a lot of people are suggesting to block COD altogether because it's solving a problem in a very short stage and people are not looking at the long picture. I am here to challenge that narrative. I am here to explain you with numbers, not opinions, on what you should do and what you should not do. So that's my major thought process here. I'll try that after this PPT ends, you should start asking not how to block COD, but why to block COD. That is something that we should take away from this presentation, and that would be my win. So let's talk some numbers. Okay, I am presenting a scenario wherein you spend 2 lakh rupees to generate 1000 orders roughly. That's a 200 rupees CAC. And with a AOV of 1000 rupees, which is a general market trend in India, you generate a 10,000 revenue. That's a 5 ROAS kind of picture. A dreamy picture, a good picture, a healthy business. But let's wait, because some of these orders out of the 1000 orders that you have brought in would be COD as well, right? Let's dig deep. So as I mentioned, 2 lakh rupees marketing cost. CAC would be somewhere around 200, AOV would be 1000 rupees. Normally in India, 70 to 80% is dominated by COD. If your brand trust score, or if you are an emerging brand, so I've considered here 70% as COD orders and prepaid orders as 30%, right? I've also, through my logistic knowledge, I know you don't have to click pictures. I'll ask customer lab team to send you the entire calculations and the PPTs. So let's focus on understanding this. So I've also incorporated logistic cost for what is the logistic cost for COD orders, because a lot of time performance marketing team is not given the liberty of understanding what their PNL is at the logistic end. So I'm trying to help you, because I've been on both sides. So I'm trying to help you with all kind of costs that a brand incurs in COD orders, right? So COD order delivery shipment is roughly 85 rupees, 55 rupees for logistic, 30 rupees for cash handling. COD RTO is roughly 110 rupees. CPS or cost per shipment for prepaid delivery is 55 rupees only. This is the reason brand are afraid of COD, because delivery cost of COD is also high, RTO cost is even higher, right? RTO percentage on COD order general average is 50%. You can have different calculation. I'll share you the sheet as well. You can put your numbers and see how it turns out. And for delivery, roughly for prepaid, the delivery percentage is 100%. So I've considered 0% as RTO. If I do the calculation, I'll get to a 650 order deliveries. That is 6,50,000. Correct? Are you all with me till here? Right? So total logistic cost basis, I've already given you per order cost shipment of for RTO, for delivery, for prepaid. So it would come around for COD it would be coming around 38,500 for RTO orders, 16,500 for prepaid orders, and 29,750 for 350 delivered COD orders, right? So net thing after removing your logistic cost plus your RTO and marketing and every cost, you are turning it into 3.65 lakh rupees of sales. This is the number that you will get without blocking any COD, right? And mostly what people are triggering for are this 38,500 RTO cost and 29,750 COD delivery cost. That is the reason people are asking you to block COD directly. But it is then negatively impacting our CACs, our reach in the market, multiple things. Now, let's assume a scenario too wherein you have been sold for a ML or a AI algorithm which tells you what you are not knowing probably about your brand, right? After running for 2-3 years, so let's align on a ML AI algorithm which someone has created without knowing what your brand does. The best case scenario, they'll be blocking 200 orders out of those 700 orders as high risk or medium risk or XYZ, right? Out of those 200 orders, 50 orders at max would be converting into prepaid. You will be seeing a drop off of 150 people, even if you block COD, right? Now, let's do the same mathematics, because I'm sure while you are doing or thinking or someone is pitching you about blocking COD, you never do this math real time. I've done it because I wanted to help my brands. So same spends would be same. You are spending again 2 lakh rupees, but your CAC would be higher because 150 people dropped off, which were about to make that purchase. Everything remains the same, just that your COD orders are now 500 orders because you have blocked 200 orders and 50 orders converted into prepaid. So instead of 300 prepaid orders, you are getting 350 prepaid orders. All other cost remains unchanged, be it your logistic cost, your marketing cost, everything, right? So at the end, you will see a overall delivery rate as 71%, which you were seeing 65% earlier. So there's a definitely uptick on, delivery rates, and that is where most of the people stop. But I'll tell you an interesting factor. Your delivery rate on COD will remain the same. It was 50% earlier, it will still remain 50%. Just that you have reduced the denominator by reducing the number of COD orders, right? So everything, your total realized revenue would now be 6 lakh because 350 plus 250 COD orders getting delivered, which is less. Now your top line is less, but you took a conscious call, right? You took 50,000 out of that picture. Now your logistic cost will look like 27,500 for a RTO order, which is a lot lesser. We had 38,000 earlier in our earlier scenario. So every brand thinks, yeah, I'm saving money on RTOs. And then when you do all the calculation, remove the marketing cost and your logistic cost, you will now be getting 3,32,000 as a net profit in your bank. Earlier you were getting 33,250 rupees more with the same scenario. However, I understand there will be there can be other parameters affecting, like your CAC might not be 200, but you can do this calculation is what I wanted to convey before thinking of blocking COD, right? There's a 10% delta in my net profit just by blocking COD, and I'm not even considering the additional orders that got delivered will be my repeat purchases next month as well, or whenever my repeat journey is. So even with a 6% better delivery, I am getting a 10%, roughly 10% delta on my profits. Now, so this is where I calculated what should be the accuracy of the ML AI algorithm that people are pitching. So I lost 33,000 roughly rupees. I back calculated it. I found it for 200 rupees CAC and 1000 rupees AOV. That is basically a ROAS of 5 and 200 rupees CAC. You need roughly 70% accuracy, which is very, very, very difficult. Trust me, it's not simple as it looked like. So why this is a magic number? Because we lost roughly 33,000. I'll help you get that 33,000 back. So let's assume a scenario. Those 150 orders that I blocked, if I did not block and I just send it as COD, right? And I consider only 33% deliveries there. Only 33%, I'll still be getting roughly 33,000 back. This is what I wanted to explain and point out. While blocking COD, the answer should be why we are blocking COD. What are my pain points? Not assuming a risk that has been calculated by a third party is the risk that your customers are falling under. A person's tendency to purchase electronics versus a ghagra versus a t-shirt versus a sunglasses is different. A person's ability or a person's tendency to buy a 2000 rupees product or 50 rupees product or a 5000 rupees product is different. A person tendency of buying a product which I can only get on website versus which I can get on quick comms is different. You'll have to understand more, because if you actually want to help your brands grow, you'll have to understand the nuances and the calculations behind it. Because a lot of time ops, you will get a pressure from ops team to block everything because that's an easier job to do. Then if that is the path you all should choose, then why not, completely block COD, right? So we are not here to make things easier for ops team. We are here to generate more revenue for my brand. That's the thought process I want everyone to be with me while I'm giving this presentation. So we have understood the questions that I wanted to raise in front of this panel, but I've not come to a point. What should we do next? This is where I want you to understand not everything is black and white as people say. Not everything is like COD is bad, prepaid is good. This is not how it is. We need to find more signals on understanding how our customers are purchasing, which is the type of customer I want to be in my website, which is basically the type of customers I want to target, right? So there is a small graph which I thought we should create. Maybe low risk versus high risk, prepaid versus COD. We need to find what are the good purchases, what are moderate purchases, what are bad purchases, right? How do we do that was the next question. While I was discussing few things with Hari from Customer Labs, I got to know why and how we can do that. So I had a lot of logistic data. I've been delivering shipments from past 14-15 years. I've been into the checkout market from past, 3-4 years. I've been into, multiple tracking mechanism throughout the year. How can I've collected a 150-180 million data points around e-commerce consumer. How can I help my merchants grow? Was my thought process. And that's when, we started 2 years back, we started discussing with Customer Labs, and I got introduced with first party data on how can I leverage the intelligence of my logistic, my customers data, and help brands without sharing any PII data, help brands share good signals to their campaigns through which they can optimize. Right now brands are only able to understand a few things which the customers that are landing on their website, whereas I deliver close to 1.5 CR shipments every month, right? I do close to 70 lakh checkout orders every month. Why not create a system of data and power that data, my first party data signals, as signals to my customers? So that's the thought process I wanted to have during this conversation. So we basically had few events, Hari helped me set up few events from customer labs. So we understood what are high AOV purchase, low AOV purchase, what is customer's intent or what is customer's prepaid affinity. I know this person has done 10 prepaid orders out of last 15 orders. He has a high prepaid affinity, and if he is not doing prepaid orders on your website, there is a problem with you, not with the customer. That is what I wanted to convey everyone. It's very difficult to understand or realize that there might be some problem at our end. My creative, my website, my trust, my product, anything. That can be anything. I'm just stating out few points. So helping create those events and then signaling it back to your meta campaign so that you don't only optimize for purchases, you also optimize for good purchases going forward. So apart from that, second part was optimization. We came up with a plan that why not optimize the landing, thanks to different platforms, you already have segmented those users. Here, this person is very interested in shoes. Why send him back to the website? Why not send him a headless link? You can scan this link and you will land onto a headless link wherein your website's homepage loads, but not the entire website loads. I load a headless product plus checkout link, and you can make it personalized. Now, my idea more here is how you can personalize the entire experience. You are already doing a lot on creatives, on campaigns, on ad sets. I want you to also personalize things on your checkout, your website, your PDPs, etc. So this is for one of the brands that we created. We help them, target those links directly on meta ads, directly on Instagram. If someone is browsing, I know this person is very interested in shoes, he was visiting shoes, I can only show him the buy now link of shoes, which directly opens up to my headless checkout, and you do the purchase. So the drop off basically decreases here. This is what we created. Now, looking into COD management, I would, rather than blocking, have these signals. Whether this RTO or this order or this pin code has a low delivery percentage due to courier or due to person. So I'm also able to understand courier behavior, and that is what we would like people to understand as well. Whatever data that you have, in case you have a good amount of data, you should also utilize this kind of data. There are lot of RTO reasons for which are basically projected towards courier and not customers. If you're blocking those customers, it's not their fault actually, right? And you are basically losing out on a good customer. Remember, good customer, bad customer, we talked few PPTs back. So that's what I am trying to convey here. So we have various risk tags which we are trying to send it to Meta through customer labs, and trying to create good signals for enriching the campaigns. One good thing that I always tell to my brands, fortunately, from last 5 years, I've interacted with at least 700 D2C founders, bare minimum, more than that, I guess. I've handled a P&L of close to 50,000 D2C user base, not necessarily D2C sellers. They can be traders, etc., or quick e-commerce. I always tell them, use COD as a NPS of trust. If you are not blocking anything, you are only changing your creatives, you are changing your website, you are doing some signaling and decreasing your COD percentage, it's a good implication of how people are trusting your website, your product, etc. COD should not be blocked. COD should be taken as a feedback mechanism that people are not trusting me. That's something a lot of brands are doing it and are seeing tremendous growth in their, thought process and in their P&L. Now, third thing, as a marketer, I always thought, why not different campaigns should have a different website or a different checkout experience, or different discount, or different wo. So this is also one thing I believe you guys can, touch point. You can create different personalization basis your different campaigns. You might not have X campaign, a working same as Y campaign. The way you have thought and created X campaign, Y campaign would be of a different thought process. You can try and test, do a multiple A/B testing on these regards, and think, rather than blocking COD, do these kind of things to test out how you can increase your profits. That's, I think, I was pretty quick on my point. I really hope, everyone out here should start, understanding the P&L depth, understanding all the cost heads, and then taking marketing decision, because you guys are the only one, who can tell brands what is right for them, what is wrong for them. A lot of times, performance marketing teams, be it agency or be it in-house, the major problem they face, because lack of, numbers or lack of visibility on operational cost, they take various decisions which are being set by the operations team. My only point through this PPT was not to sell you anything. My point was to, I want people to start asking questions on why rather than how, right? So that's the thought process I had. I hope, I was not boring. I tried to, keep it as short as possible, as informative as possible. And that's it, I think. Any questions? Yeah. We'll start from this side, if that's okay. Yeah. So, truth or fancy? How do you want me to? So, truth for me, partial COD is roughly as bad as, not having COD. The main problem, when I spoke to even abandoned cart users, when I blocked COD, I understood their problem was trust. भाई मुझे 1000 रुपए के सामान पे 100 रुपए नहीं देना, मुझे प्रॉब्लम है ये सामान मेरे पास पहुंचेगा या नहीं. Something else that we are trying to solve for is pay after delivery. I understood that person at the time of delivery was anyway paying through UPI. So through the help of BNPLs, I am trying to create a mechanism wherein I tell the user कि तुझे अगर delivery होगी उसके 3 दिन बाद pay कर देना. मैं काट लूँगा through my BNPL partners. I will deduct that amount. You don't have to worry. If delivery does not happen, there will be no payment that will be scheduled for you. And in any which ways, I am planning it after 3 days of delivery. So there is no such logistical problems. Let's say 1 day delay, 2 day delay is not a problem there.
Can you repeat that?
So what I am trying to solve for is COD. If I have to solve for COD, I don't have to act for partial COD. Partial COD, although there is one scenario it works.
BPL part. The BPL pay after 3 days.
So the idea is right now BNPL is not very successful because BNPL act like a credit card without entering a credit card details. They have your ledger. They will deduct it as soon as the order happens. Okay. I thought why not I combine it with COD and make it pay after delivery.